If I could have everyone's attention at this time. Yeah, so we have a great problem. And the problem is that we are short on Selichot books. So I'm going to ask if anybody has a book that can be shared with someone you like, or even someone you don't like, if you could bring those extras back to the back. And we promise that next year we will have more books, but we didn't expect such a crowd tonight, and we really appreciate this problem. So yay, and thank you for accommodating us. Okay, we have more books coming. Thank you so much. Okay. And now as everybody files in, I'm going to ask everybody to please take a seat. And we will begin our service after I remind everyone that if you have a telephone that you have brought with you into the sanctuary, to please silence it at this time. And the last thing I want to remind you of is if there are children in the service, we are so happy that you're here. And if you make noise, that is the music of the future. And we are really happy you're here. So don't worry, just enjoy the ceremony. We continue on page 96, and it is my pleasure to invite forward at this time Charlotte and Charlie to open our service.
Hello. In the Middle Ages, in the Jewish towns and villages of Europe, the Shofar, or the Yiddish version of the town crier, would make his rounds from house to house, pounding on doors with a wooden mallet to gather for a minyan for public prayer. But during the day of Selichot, which are the penitential prayers which precede Rosh Hashanah, the door knocking happened at midnight. The mallet was shaped like a shofar, and the shofar would have a special message for everyone on his route, men, women, and children alike. Israel, holy folk, awake and rise to the service of the Creator.
Still aspiring to be a holy folk, we rise tonight as our ancestors did, to the service of our Creator. We are not here because of a knock at the door, but because at this season our hearts begins to pound, an inner voice awakens us, and we feel summoned to this place of prayer and community. Judaism celebrates the possibility of self-renewal, and it sanctifies the acts of soul-searching, acknowledging error, and starting again. In the spirit of a joyful self-improvement, we open our hearts to the days of awe.
It is my pleasure to invite to the Bima at this time to lead us in Havdalah, the holy separation of Shabbat and the rest of the week, our song leader, Cindy Michalasi. We will have Havdalah followed by a wonderful ceremony where our middle school, high school, and beyond will be participating in changing the Torah covers. We continue with Havdalah. Ya la 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 ya la 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 Baruch atah Adonai
A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase.
It is my pleasure to invite Ethan Sherman to the reading stand to open our service.
We turn the Torahs from their usual colors to white to represent purity and wholeness. At this time of year, we ask forgiveness from one another and then from God. So we take the Torahs from the ark to turn with the season.
It is my pleasure to invite Miriam and Holly to come and open the ark. Will the congregation please rise? And can my Torah holders please come forward at this time? Aaron, Jenna, Adam, Asher, and Shayna.
And it's my pleasure to invite up Julia Shinsky.
Let this Torah represent kindness. As we change the cover, it may mean we turn our hearts with compassion toward one another and go into the new year with kindness.
It's my pleasure to invite up Caitlin Anderson to share a reading.
Let this Torah represent purity. As we change this Torah cover, may it remind us to have clean hands and pure hearts as we go into the new year with purity.
Torahs are very tall, and not all of us are quite as tall as the Torahs. It's my pleasure to invite up Ezra Lewitton.
Let this Torah represent tzedakah and a compassionate heart for those who need us to lift up our voices to help and to heal. As we change this Torah cover, may it inspire us to tikkun olam and healing the world and all that is broken around us.
Ethan, hold on. Actually, Joanna and Jack are doing this one. Go stand next to Mrs. Wood. It's my pleasure to invite up Josh Jury.
Let this Torah represent health, bodily, mental, and emotional health. As we change this cover, let us pray for those who have been affected by illness, depression, or despair. May they have a complete healing of body, mind, and spirit. Let this Torah represent wholeness, shalom. As we change this cover, may we strive to bring peace and life to others and continue to do work of our souls, heshbon hanefesh, as we begin this new year.
As we have dressed these Torahs draped in white, let them remind us always to strive to see all that is beautiful in our world, counting our blessings and having a grateful heart. But may we always keep Torah in our hearts so we may be inspired to be partners with God in creating a more caring and compassionate world for all to live. And as we begin this high holiday season, may all of us be blessed with a renewed sense of wonder and spirit. And let us thank our fabulous middle schoolers and high schoolers who have beautifully helped us change the Torahs to help us celebrate this wonderful season. I'm going to ask the Torahs to be returned to the ark where Mrs. Wood and Rabbi Weiner will put them into the ark. And as soon as they are in and the ark is closed, when Holly and Miriam close the ark, we can be seated. And in the meantime, we can continue to pass the beautiful spice box, and the choir can sing a nigun.
We begin now on page 105, and it's my pleasure to invite up Ben Freeman, followed by Aidan Kirsch.
Last silver moon, the waning crescent, small and slender, glowing in the east, at the end of the journey. A curve of the silver barely there, that fades away with the dawn. Faintest light the eye can discern, like the soul within me, barely there, waning and weary as the year winds down.
At the end of the journey, the old moon flickers out, and darkness awaits the new. Now in the stillness, we can feel it being born, remind us the horizon will be bright again. The rising crescent will rise, heal our hearts, gather us in from the darkness, restore the light within us.
We continue now on page 108 with a reading by Jared and Joe Koznowski.
God is my light and my refuge secure. Whom shall I fear? God is the stronghold of my life. Of whom should I be afraid?
Just one thing I have asked of God. Only this do I seek, to dwell in God's house all the days of my life, to behold divine sweetness and beauty, and to gaze in delight at God's temple.
We continue now on page 110 with readings by Nora Shinsky and Scott Simon.
What is the nature of my cheshbon hanefesh this year? What should be my focus as I examine my deeds and my direction from now until Yom Kippur? What is unresolved in my heart? What questions are on my mind? What is unclear, uncertain, and unsettled in my life?
Is there one change I would like to make in the way I am living my life and relating to other people? When I look over my accounts, what do I see? Which personal qualities need repair and strengthening? What habits of mind, character, and behavior need correction? Which relationships in my life are most challenging at this time?
On page 115. As parents show tenderness to their children, may you show mercy to those who worship you. Like the heavens that tower above the earth, your love is powerful for those who revere you. Liberation is a gift from God, a blessing upon your people. You are the God of all we can perceive, our haven, the God of Yaakov. And you are the God of all that is beyond our perception. The one who has faith in you is fortunate. Show us the way to freedom. On the day we call you, answer us with strength.
We continue with Vidui on page 127. As the days of awe near, we reach for the infinite, mindful of our frailty. We ask, we seek the holy. Despite our mortality, we carry within us the Ancient of Days. Despite loneliness within, we sense that we belong to a single soul, a spirit that fills the entire universe. Let us find in that universal spirit a new source of strength and significance, more compassion, more generosity, more gratitude for life. Let our hearts be open to self-reckoning, and may we grasp how vital to our lives is teshuvah, the path of return. On this night of forgiveness, we confess our wrongs and take account of sins, failures of judgment, weaknesses of will. The hour is late, and our need to be forgiven profound. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, tavo lefanecha v'tefilatenu, ve'al titalem michinatenu. Our God and God of all generations, may our prayers reach your presence, and when we turn to you, do not be indifferent. Adonai, we are arrogant and stubborn, claiming to be blameless and free of sin. In truth, we have stumbled and strayed. We have done wrong. Together we confess, and together we take responsibility. And I ask everyone to please rise. continue on page 130 with Al Chet. Rabbi Weiner and I will be reading responsively in Hebrew, and you, the congregation, will read in English. Al Chet shechatenu lefanecha be'ones uvratzon.
The ways we have wronged you under duress and by choice. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha v'zadon uvishgaga. The harm we have caused in your world deliberately and by mistake.
Al chet shechatanu lefanecha begalui uvasater.
We have wronged you openly and secretly. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha biyodim uvlo yodiim.
The harm we have
Caused in your world consciously and unconsciously.
Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'sinat chinam.
The ways we have wronged you by hating without cause. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha birchilut. The harm we have caused in your world through gossip and rumor.
Al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'tza'aruat ayin.
The ways we have wronged you through a selfish or petty spirit. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha be'imutz halev. The harm we have caused in your world by hardening our hearts.
Ve'al kulam Eloha slichot salach lanu machal lanu kaper lanu. For all
These failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness,
forgiven us, pardon us, lead us to atonement. We remain standing as it is my pleasure to invite to the bima at this time our Baal Tekiah Mitch Williams as Rabbi Weiner and I open the ark and we recite Avinu Malkeinu on page 141. Avinu Malkeinu Shema Kolenu. Avinu Malkeinu, Almighty and merciful, hear our voice.
Avinu Malkeinu chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu,
we have strayed and sinned before you. Avinu Malkeinu chamol aleinu ve'al olalenu v'tapenu. Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and our families.
Avinu Malkeinu kalei dever v'cherev v'ra'av me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the onslaught of sickness, violence, and hunger.
Avinu Malkeinu kalei kol tsar umastim me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror.
Avinu Malkeinu kotvenu b'sefer chayim tovim. Avinu Malkeinu, enter our names in the book of lives well lived.
Avinu Malkeinu chadesh aleinu shana tova. Avinu Malkeinu, renew us for a year of goodness. Tekiah, Tekiah, Tekiah Gedola. Shana Tova. Please be seated. This concludes our Selichot services. Shana Tova.